I'm Lisa Haisha. Welcome to the Legacy Interviews. Today I have Roweia, and I met her at a preschool that both of our children go to. And when I saw this woman, she was just spectacular. As I was walking towards her, I was going, I want to be best friends with that woman. I don't even know who she is, but she has light, she has spirit, she has passion, and there was something really unique about her. And she's Syrian, and I thought it would be very interesting to pick her brain a little bit about what's going on over there, what the truth is about, bombing and international whatever, everything that's going on in the world today between, Russia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and what's to come next. And she's somebody who keeps up with politics, and she's a mom, and she has extraordinary sons. And I just want to see how she does it all. She has a career also, so let's just talk to her and find out about what's going on. Hi.
Hi.
Roweia.
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 Yes,
Roweia. Okay, yeah, what a great name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, it means the storyteller.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, in Arabic.
Okay.
Yes. And also it has two meanings, actually, the storyteller and the one that quenches thirst.
Oh, okay.
So,
yes, both are, fit you.
I hope so.
So let's tell some stories today.
Yes, absolutely.
So you said you were born in Nigeria.
I was actually born in England.
Okay.
And my father, my mom were living in Nigeria. So I was born in England, and then we were in Nigeria. So we lived there, I was there till I was 18. And then I moved to Lebanon. And that's where I studied interior design. And then I moved to Syria. That's where I worked in interior design. And then I got married and moved to LA. Yeah. Yeah,
so tell me a little bit about those experiences living in these different countries. What are they like compared to what we see on TV?
Well, Nigeria was a wonderful place to grow up in. I had experiences that were beautiful. My kids, I always pray that my kids get to live this kind of experiences. I went to places, beaches, rode horses, lived in nature. And that was, what was beautiful about that country. It was very raw. And my experiences there were very real. The people I met there were great. We had lots of different nationalities over there. We were all expats, so there was Syrians were mixing with Lebanese, Italian, French, people from Holland, Germany. So there wasn't any boundaries. It was a culture, a mixture of culture where we all got to know a lot about each other, and it was very enriching. Lagos was a very enriching place for me to grow up in. I feel blessed that I was there.
What brought your parents there?
My grandfather actually moved to work in Lagos, and then eventually he had his children. They were back and forth between Lebanon and Lagos, but eventually my father moved to Lagos to work there, and then got married to my mom, and then they had us over there.
Yes.
Yes. And I really feel blessed that I had the opportunity to be, I wouldn't have maybe gone to Africa if this hadn't happened. And I really feel blessed that I had the opportunity to live in a country that is really amazing.
Yes, I was in Tanzania a couple of times, and it's just the nature there, the beauty. You have time to think and just be, and it's not all about your to-do list and getting things done and computers. Yes. So what about Lebanon?
Lebanon was beautiful. It was also an excellent experience. I went to college there.
How did that compare to Nigeria?
Very different.
Very different.
Yes.
How?
It was more college life. I was away from my family. In Lagos, we grew up in a very closed environment in the sense that it was all about family. There was a lot of love and support and everything, and it was a small community, and everybody knew everybody, and it was when I went to Lebanon, it's like I was left to the world there. I had to create myself. I had to know myself. Sometimes when you're away, obviously, from your family, your parents especially, I have a very good relationship with my mother. So when I was away from her, I had to figure things for myself. figure things out for myself, rather than when I was in Lagos, you know, I'd ask her, get her advice, and then, you know, kind of do things with her guidance. But Lebanon was the place where I just discovered who I was, really, and tried to, where I really grew as a person there, because I was alone, I guess, and because the experience, Lebanon also was so diverse. There was people from all walks of life with all kinds of experiences, like some that went through the civil war, and some that were like me, that just came in. So we got to exchange a lot of different views also. It was very interesting. Lebanon also was a place where I felt I really grew, became more me, I guess.
What was that process for you?
It was...
Did you intentionally say, I need to grow, or did you?
No, I didn't intentionally say, you know, think that. I just met people that I guess
stimulated you in different ways, where
yes.
you were exposed to more things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know, the thing is, I don't believe in coincidence. I know these people came in my life because I had to grow in that certain way. So there were a couple of very influential people in my life in Lebanon that, you know, stimulated me to think and to actually get to know myself, to go, you know, inside myself, inside of me, to know who I really am. So yeah, Lebanon was that kind of place for me. Besides, it was a lot of fun too.
Yes, yes, but that's one of the best things about travel.
Yes, I mean, it's the place, you know, it's the beach is there, and then you have the mountains where you can ski, and they're like 45 minutes away, you know, so that's what made it fascinating. You know, we could be skiing and then come down and walk on the beach, you know, that same day. It was beautiful in that sense, and the people are very nice, and you know, it was close to home. I'd go to Syria every weekend. It's just a 2-3 hour drive. Used to be, actually. Yes, and you know, it was a very nice experience.
Yeah, so that's why I'm such a travel advocate. I think it's so important, especially to travel alone. I've traveled a lot alone overseas, because you do get to know yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think if you don't get to know yourself, it's really hard to be happy or to succeed in life. And even if you succeed, you're not going to be happy, because you'll have a hole inside of you, or you're always doubting yourself. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I good enough? Am I a fraud? And yeah, so can you talk a little bit about that, about the importance of travel, like for you or people you know?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I definitely would love to do more traveling, but in the time that I have had going to or living in these different places, I felt I become richer as a person. The people that I have met, because I have been in these different places, have enriched my life a lot. I feel very blessed that I had the opportunity to go to these places. And I think the more places you go and the more people that are different than you, that you meet, educate you in a way.
Absolutely.
You know, either in a positive experience or in a negative experience. But at the end is the way you see that experience that's going to make you grow.
Yes, and the images of certain people in different countries that we see on television is certainly not the truth.
Absolutely.
For most of the people in a country.
Absolutely.
Someone told me, why do you want to go to Iraq or, you know, Jordan or in any of these places that I was traveling to at the time? Everyone's barefoot and just throws rocks at each other. I'm like, really?
No,
no, that's not the case. And they're very intelligent. I think overall, very intelligent cultures.
Absolutely.
They have buildings. They wear regular clothes. They have shoes.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone doesn't carry a rock in their hand.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Like, for example, Syria, Damascus, that's where I'm from. Damascus is one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world. So how much culture do you think is there? It's amazing. You go walk in the streets of Damascus, especially in the old city. If a rock could speak, it would say 1,000 stories, you know, and more. There is so much energy around that area that it's overwhelming. It's beautiful. And the people are kind. They're very generous. They have a saying, they always say, "Tfaddali," you know, come in, you know, they always want to offer you coffee or something to drink. They're very generous. It's part of the culture. You always they're very giving.
Yeah, everyone is family.
Absolutely, you know, there's a lot of warmth, you know.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I'm not surprised because I grew up in an Iraqi household, but the warmth over there, because even my father said, be careful, because we were bombing them, so people might not like Americans.
Yeah.
And I actually watched a demonstration of, we hate Americans, you know, and I went there with my camera. I wanted to interview these people. And then I was done, like, I'm American. You know? You hate me. Can I interview you? Why do you hate me? You don't even know me. And they're like, no, Habibi, we love you. Come to my shop. Come here. Come to my home. I'm like, this is interesting. It feels like they're all my relatives. Everyone just brought you in.
Yes.
They said, no, we don't like the government, and we're forced to do this.
Exactly.
And so when you get to know the people, that's when you could start opening up your heart. And we have a site called Blazing Borders, you know, where you could actually get to know people instead of, oh, I just hate all Japanese, I just hate all Arabs, you know, or all, you know, Jews. I think that's such a blanket statement that is so harmful in our world today.
Absolutely. Stereotyping.
We're all the same.
Yes.
You know, we all eat, breathe, want to make friends, want to connect, want to learn.
Absolutely. Want to be happy.
Yes, we all want to be happy.
Yeah. The bottom line, that's what we want. We want to be happy. And we want peace in the Middle East.
Yes, we do.
We want peace. We just want peace. We're tired.
Why do you think that's going on in the Middle East today?
I don't
Why
know.
do you think Al Qaeda's and ISIS are popping up?
You know, it's just there's a lot of different views, and people don't want to talk. I think it's a lack of communication and struggle for power all the time. And lack of, you know, thinking of the human being, you know, and that's the problem. Right now, at this point, I know as majority of the Syrian people, in regards of what's happening in Syria, we just want peace. We want this to end. We want the blood to stop. We want, you know, the spilling of blood to stop. We just want peace. We want to go to our homes and feel safe. We want to sleep and not be worried that you know, something is going to fall over our roof, you know.
I remember being in Israel and someone said to me, if I don't see the news every 15 minutes, I'm afraid because a bomb could land on us.
Yeah, it's truly like this. My mother is currently there, actually. And
she went back.
Yes.
I thought she was going to stay.
You know, she stayed. She stayed for a while, but my grandmother's there, so she needs to go see her. She needs to see her mother too. So she's there now. And when I talk to her on the phone, she tells me, you know, she said, you know, she's like, Mama, we have to live our lives. You know, life goes on. We cannot stay scared, and then nothing will happen to us that is not, you know, destined. So we're here. I'm like my mother, like my brothers, like everybody else. We're all here, and hopefully we, you know, pray for, you know, to be protected, and life goes on. And they go out and they go to coffee shops, and okay, not like usual, but you know, they come back earlier, for example, and things like that. But life needs to go on. You know.
But they're right now going to coffee shops they're going out to dinner or whatever.
Yes, but they stay in a certain area. They try not to go far. But yeah, people go to coffee shops. Weddings are happening. You know, restaurants. People need to live, Lisa. They can't just hide.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, you know, for example, in the civil war in Lebanon, at the end, you know, people just got bored. They needed to, you know, life had to go on. They didn't know how long the civil war was going to last. And the same thing here with Syria. No one knows how long this is going to last. They can't just stay imprisoned, you know, in their own homes. So life will go on.
So many people have fled, you know.
A lot of people have left.
So why is your family still there?
You see, the older generation, most of them remained there. They didn't want. They were like, you know, for example, my grandmother, this is my house. This is where I had my children. This is where I lived my whole life. I'm not ready to leave, and I will not leave. The younger ones are the ones that left, the ones, I guess, to say my generation and younger, because they had kids that were like 4, 6,
Yes.
you know, that they had to take to school, and, you know, the stress of not knowing when they dropped them off if they were going to come and pick them up safely, you know. And besides, money runs out at the end of the day. They need to make a living, they need to go and work. So, and the work stopped in Syria, or was very much diminished, you know, that people didn't have any more work. So a lot of people needed to leave in order to make their ends meet, and in order to keep their family safe, and, you know, so they had to.
So how does your family survive there?
They're good. I mean, so far.
But are they working? Is someone in the family working?
Yes, my uncle still works. He has an established business there. But I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in detail about that, but I'm sure it's not what it was.
Right,
and
but
you know, different things have to be, you know, created. A person, you know, have to be creative in these kinds of situations. You need to make things happen. But yeah, I mean, they stayed there. The people who stayed there are managing. And the people who left are hoping to go back. I know a lot of people that left and just, you know, would love to go back. But it is what it is, you know, you just need to continue.
Yes, yes, life goes on.
Absolutely. Life goes
What
on.
about healthcare over there? Do they have something? Or is it just whatever you have,
it's
meds?
Whatever you can get, you know. Okay. At the end of the day, the hospitals, I'm sure, are full. And then the doctors, a lot of them have, you know, some have stayed, but some have left. So you just have to manage with what's there, unfortunately. It's really, it's not a ideal situation.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, people have to manage.
How is it now compared to a couple of years ago?
Calmer, I guess. A couple of years, it's a bit calmer now.
Okay.
But for example, a week ago, it wasn't that calm. Like, there were 2 days where, you know, I'd call my mom and she'd say, oh, yeah, the sounds are a bit closer now, you know. But, you know, they just manage.
How much of Syria is inhabitable? Like, where they're not bombing as much?
Like, Damascus so far is safe.
Okay.
Parts of it as well. Aleppo, there are a lot of parts that are damaged.
Yes.
A lot of it is damaged. At the end of the day, you don't really know where in it is safe, but you stay in the areas where there's not a lot of bombs falling.
Yeah, a friend of mine just went to Iraq. He said, you're going to Iraq now? Yeah. He's like, oh no, there's pockets that are still safe. He was born there and grew up there, and still knows some, you know, a few people who live there. Yeah. He went for a month and came back and said, oh, it was a great trip, and, you know, all Qaeda, ISIS is in this area, and we stayed in this area. And he said, you feel it, you know, there's the tension of you never know, but it's relatively safe. You know, where they could still live and go to coffee shops or whatever, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
I thought Iraq was really, you know, done, except for, you know, a few small areas.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's the way it is. Like I told you, people have to survive. They have to go on living, you know.
And they don't want to leave. Some of the older people said, no, this is my home. Kill me then, you know, or they stay.
And some people just can't leave. You know, they don't have the means to leave. So what will they do? They have to stay, you know. Yes. And some people out of, ideology, they won't leave their country. They need to stand with it, you know, somehow. There's a lot of different reasons, but at the end of the day, the one that stayed, we pray for them all the time, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what tools do they have to handle that kind of stress, or especially with family members getting killed, or their children, or, you know, nieces, nephews, whatever? What do they do?
They stick together.
They stick together.
You know, yeah. Family is always, you know, there's a, you know, in a time of crisis, there's always a big bond, you know, neighbors stick together. Yes. And everybody asks about everybody, you know. There's a, you know, when I used to walk in, for example, from my house to my grandmother's house, by the time I got to my grandmother's house, I would have said hi to 10 people on the way, you know. Everybody knows everybody. I'd be walking a car, driving, would be like, hey, you know, and that's how, like, everybody knows everybody. It's a very nice communal place, you know, and everybody asks about everybody. So yeah, I mean, it's that's how they cope with it, I guess, supporting each other.
Yes, and that's something I don't think a lot of people, if they're not Middle Eastern, or if they don't get out a lot, or if they don't travel to Middle Eastern countries, or if they don't live in an area where there's Middle Easterners, they have a picture in their mind that Middle Easterners are aggressive and, you know, hateful and just like to fight and argumentative, and it's just not that way.
Absolutely not.
And they think everyone's Muslim to the extreme.
Absolutely not.
And you're Muslim.
I am.
Yes. And look at you. I don't think you're going to start. I don't think you're out to go kill anybody tomorrow or anything. So can you talk a little bit about that, about what it's like to be a Muslim or being a Muslim in America and over there, just what it means to be a Muslim, what your belief is? Because I have so many Muslim friends, and I'm a Christian Iraqi on my dad's side, American on my mom's, but we have so many Muslim friends too, which I consider relatives. And all these people are so nice and peaceful. I'm like, so explain the difference or what that means,
Yes,
or Islam.
you know, the thing is actually, it's a very peaceful religion.
Yes.
And we're very...
When people say that, they say, how can you say that? That's just not true.
It's
so
true.
please.
It's a peaceful religion. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a religion that's very similar to all the other religions, to Christianity, to it's the same thing. You have to be a good person, you have to do good deeds, you have to, you know, as practicing like here, nothing has changed from how I was in Syria. I feel the people here are very tolerant, the people that I've met, maybe in Los Angeles, maybe because, you know, they're more exposed. They're very tolerant. Some are curious about it, and I love sharing this religion. I mean, I don't do anything differently than anyone else, you know. My prayers are just in a different way. Yes. But it's a peaceful religion. It calls for a lot of love, community, helping, giving.
So then why the bad reputation?
So
talk
I guess, you know.
But talk about that when, you know, people are concerned about 2040, when they said the Muslims are going to take over the world. They're all having 9, 10 kids, and other people are having 1 or 2 children, and they're going to change the world to Islam and
no, the thing is,
militant Islam. And
no, the thing is, you see, the problem is small groups of people generally manage to do something crazy, get on the news, and then give a bad reputation to the millions of others who don't believe in these kinds of ideology. Islam is not a religion of killing, and it's not a religion of revenge, and no, it's really a religion of peace. And I try on my daily actions with everybody who knows me to be a Muslim or not, to see that I'm a good person, because, you know, at the end I think you know, that's what I am, you know. So I don't want, and if they know that I'm a Muslim, that is a plus in order for them to know that I'm just like them, you know. We don't have a different agenda, and no, we don't want to, you know, rule the world or whatever.
Right.
We just want to be happy, like everyone else. So I think it's just a misconception.
Can you talk a little bit about Islam? Like, what is that? And
Islam is a religion of peace. It teaches us to be tolerant to everybody, to all other religions, to be accepting of everybody else, to raise our kids to also be the same, to be honest, kind, generous is very important. Charity is something that's very important. To pray in order to always have a connection with the greater being, with Allah.
Do you pray 5 times a day?
I pray.
Okay.
Maybe not 5 times a day. I try.
You stay connected.
But you know, yes, exactly. Prayer in Arabic is salah, and salah is link. It's sila. It's a link. It means link with the greater being. That's how we link. And basically, it is 5 times in the day that you take for 5 minutes, and it's a kind of meditation that you do. And we all need that, regardless on how we do it. maybe the form in which the prayer is, you know, we go down and up and then we go back to the floor and things like that. These are movements where meditation is sitting down and closing your eyes. So these are all just physical appearances to it. But at the end of the day, what is it? It is 5 minutes you take away from your life, from your stressful life. You go and you just get 5 minutes of peace. Where
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful and it's important.
And if more people did that, our whole world would be different.
Exactly.
I teach that in my coaching practice of just taking 5 minutes or an hour just to go, where am I? You know, check in.
Absolutely. You know, that's what I realized when I listen sometimes to you know, interviews on you know, how to improve yourself and how to, you know, do it, because we all seek to always improve ourselves. And I realized that a lot of people experts advise on doing this one thing that we have to do in our religion. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, that's great. I wish it could be seen this way, you know, where this is really how it is. It is 5 minutes you take away from your stressful life to go and relax and meditate.
Check in.
Exactly.
Yeah, check in.
And then come back to your life, you know?
Yeah.
My mom has been praying 5 times a day, every day for a very long time. And she tells me when I don't do that, or if I'm out and I didn't get the chance, she feels like her day has been disorganized somehow. It organizes her day. And that's what it is, really. It's 5 times where you get to go inside and then re-energize and then, you know, go on again with life.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, because people get so intimidated by that.
It's not. It's really not, yeah.
Yeah, so what else can you share about life in Los Angeles compared to life in Lebanon or Syria? What's like the daily rituals? How are they different? I know you just shared a little bit about people go out a little bit, but they're cautious over there, but they are living their life the best of their ability.
Yes.
But when you moved here, what was your big shock of, oh my God, LA?
The adjustment.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in Syria, the social life over there is, you know, beautiful, or at least to me, the way I like it. You're always with everybody.
All over the Middle East, yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, I used to work, so I was always at work with my work colleagues who happened to be my very good friends.
And you were doing interior design?
Interior design. And then when I went home, you know, my mom was there, but the tradition is we go to my grandmother's every night to see her, check on her, have coffee, you know, have dinner sometimes. And the family, everybody gathers there. So every day I saw my uncles, my cousins, everybody. And it's always full. You know, and then I call one of my friends, or my friends call me, and we're out for coffee and hookah and playing cards, and then we go back, and then there's work again. So it's always full. When I came here, the greatest adjustment for me to do was, what? Where's everybody? You know, it was like I missed my family. I missed this sense of community.
A community of love.
Exactly.
Not just a community of people.
Yes.
It's like you really felt you belonged and you felt safe and loved.
Absolutely. And then when I came here, I didn't know a lot of people. And adjusting to that was, you know, a little bit difficult. My husband, of course, made it easier on me. You know, he tried his best to always keep me, you know, happy and taking me and introducing me. And again, like I've been to America before. Like my brother lives in Denver, so I've been here before, but I never drove or had to do anything here. Like my brother always took care of everything, so I had to do things for myself. Even going on the freeway the first time was intimidating because our streets are so much smaller, and the freeway here is like 7 lanes. I'm like, oh my God,
how do I do that?
So that was difficult, you know, adapting to these things. And even sometimes the first time I filled up gas was a bit, you know, difficult for me. I didn't know how to do it because, you know, everything is different. So adapting from the littlest detail to missing that community and that love. And
how did you feel people here treated you?
They were very nice. People were very kind, really, to be completely honest. But I didn't know a lot of them. I didn't know. And although I have moved a lot, I mean a lot, 4 times in my life. I've learned to adapt. But when I came here, it was a little bit more difficult, I guess, because the first time I moved to Lebanon, it was to school. So I was already surrounded with a lot of people.
Yes.
It was easier. And then when I moved to Damascus, I moved where my family lived anyway.
Yes.
So, you know, it was easier, kind of. When I moved here, the struggle was I had to do it alone, you know. There wasn't any help around me, you know,
Right.
kind of. So it took some time, but it went fine. I met very nice people, interesting people, like you, for example. And I've created a community, you know, a couple of true friends, you know, that my family spends time with. My children grew up with their children. And, you know, no, it's great. It's been very good.
Well, what would you like your legacy to be?
I would like it to be a legacy of kindness, of giving, of being true to yourself, you know. Today is a gift, you know. You really live it to the fullest. It's not going to come back again. So make sure you do everything you want to do. Like I told you, for example, taking up guitar.
Yes.
You know, when I was 33, after I gave birth to my second child, I thought to myself, I love music. I've always wanted to play the guitar. Why not learn? Yes. And then this other, you know, voice in my head, but you're too old. How are you? You know, people learn when they're 5, 6, 10, 33, Raweia, come on. Be
a mom and go to work. And,
but then I'm like, no, I need to do something for myself, you know, and prove to myself that, yes, it never ends. Every day I can learn something new. Every day I can do something new. And that is an example to my children. When they see that their mom doesn't want to stop learning and doesn't want to stop growing, you know, that will teach them maybe to also always want to do that. Because I don't think you ever stop. You should never stop.
Never stop. Yes. Life, every day is a gift.
Every day is a
beautiful.
gift, and you have to always take advantage of every minute and try, you know, to learn something new every day.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm going off on this year adventure to Barcelona to give my daughter
I'm so happy for you.
experience of meeting. Her school has 15 children in the class, and each child's from a different country.
Wow.
So I want her to have that experience of we're all one, get to know other cultures so you understand it firsthand and not from the news, because really everyone wants the same thing. Absolutely. Everyone wants to fit in, get along, be happy, and be connected.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing you're doing.
Yes.
It's
never too late to take the
European
vacation.
Absolute long vacation. Take me with you.
Yeah, so please come visit. Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope you have a, you know, very exciting year, full of adventures for you and your daughter, really.
We'll be in touch,
and if we can visit, I will.
Okay, that's a deal.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me. Yes. It was a pleasure.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.